Minneapolis Center, Cessna 70392 on the ground in Hayward. We'd like to pick up our IFR clearance to Cumberland.
November 70392, Minneapolis Center, cleared from the Hayward Airport to the Cumberland Airport via direct. Climb and maintain 4000, squawk 4266. Contact Minneapolis Center, this frequency on departure. Release for departure, clearance void, 5 minutes.
Cleared to the Cumberland Airport via direct, climb to 4000, squawk 4266, contact Minneapolis Center on this frequency, and our void time is 5 minutes, Cessna 302.
For 70392, readback is correct, and if you need more time, just let me know. If not, I'll talk to you airborne.
All right, we'll talk to you airborne, Cessna 302.
Good, so what time do we have to be off the ground by?
We have to be off by 12:25.
Very good.
All right, and that is our current flight plan. So I will plug in. I'm going to just load the approach that we wanted to do, the RNAV 27. Oops. No.
November 48 Romeo Kilo, contact Milwaukee approach on 127.0.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Work your way down the rest of that radio stack for me.
Okay, 122.8. We can come back in here.
Okay.
We've got the AWAS in here.
Excellent.
Oh, yep. And then 4266.
Good. Huge distraction right after departure if you don't have that set in. He's going to ask you to squawk the right code, and then you're going to be, well, you're trying to fly.
Sure.
Good.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And we're going to 4,000.
I like it. I saw no obstacle departure procedures for this runway, so you can't make any turns below 400 feet when you're IFR.
Okay. Hayward traffic, Cessna 392 is departing runway 3 for a southwestbound departure. Hayward. Looks clear to me.
I agree. Nobody coming the other way by mistake or on the grass runway. An old VOR.
Yeah. I'll just line up and check my instruments.
Excellent.
Okay, looks good.
All right, I agree.
Airspeed's alive. Engine instruments are in the green. Okay, we can start our turn now if you'd like.
I agree.
Oh, that's not at all.
Just no, it was fine. It's just kind of, there's a little free play at the end of it there. You were fine.
Sure. I'm just going to fly this until we intercept our path
good.
here. Hayward traffic, Cessna 392 is departing the area to the southwest. Hayward. Now we switch over.
Love it. Yeah, and you can even continue to monitor CTAF, right? Very good.
At 1,500 feet to go. Minneapolis Center, Cessna 70392, just departed Hayward at 2,800, climbing to 4,000.
You're in the soup.
Yes, we are.
November 70392, Minneapolis Center, Roger.
And whenever I enter that, just a quick look up at that temperature gauge here, make sure we're above freezing. I'll even take a look out on my leading edge of my strut or my wing just to make sure I don't have any icing going on. That's always on the top of my mind. I don't care what the temperature is. And your pitot tube too, make sure that's not icing up. Something you don't get trained at when you're a private pilot.
That's very true.
Get icing, you got other problems too.
500 feet to go.
November 70392, radar contact 4 miles southwest of the Hayward Airport. The altitude leaving the Cumberland altimeter is 2970.
2970 for Cessna 392.
And then you ask what altitude you're at.
November 638 Charlie Victor, contact Minneapolis Center on 123.72.
Minneapolis Center 123.72, 38 Charlie Victor, yeah.
Yeah, so when he asks you that rate, what altitude you're at, what he's trying to do is he's just trying to verify that your altimeter, your transponder that's sending out the mode C, your altitude, it matches what he sees on his scope.
Sure.
And then he can do any calibration he might need to do, but it's essentially a double check. Is, hey, are you actually at the altitude that your equipment says you are?
Right.
And so for me, because we missed that call, I would just tell him, hey, it's 392, we're now level at 4,000. Then he can look at his scope and say,
okay.
Minneapolis Center, Cessna 392 is now level at 4,000.
For 70392, Roger, and just let me know when you get the Cumberland weather and your approach request.
Roger, Cessna 392.
All right. Let's see if we can maybe pick that up.
all right.
Zulu, weather, wind, 090 at 12, visibility 10, ceiling 1,100, overcast, temperature 8 Celsius, dew point 4, altimeter 296 feet.
Number 4897, Minneapolis Center, climb and maintain flight level 200 and clear direct German.
Cumberland Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 172 feet. Zulu, weather, wind 090 at 12, visibility 10, ceiling 1,100, overcast, temperature 8 Celsius, dew point 4, altimeter 2.
Iron after Decorah, Minneapolis Center, radar contact 2 miles west of Sawyer Airport, Iron Mountain altimeter 2986.
Cumberland Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 17290. Zulu, weather, wind 090 at 11, visibility 10, ceiling 1,100, overcast, temperature 8 Celsius, dew point 4, altimeter 296 feet.
All right.
Minneapolis Center, Cessna 392 has the current weather at Cumberland, and we'd like to do the RNAV runway 27 via burps, and then go missed approach back to Anoka.
November 70392, clear direct burps. You can expect the RNAV to runway 27.
Clear direct burps, and we'll expect the RNAV 27, Cessna 392.
Going to burps.
All right, going to burps.
November 70392, did you want to do the full missed approach that go up and hold at Dusty, or did you plan on just heading right to Anoka after your miss?
If we could just head to Anoka after the miss, that would be great.
November 392, Roger. Okay, let me just coordinate with the next sector and just coordinate with altitude so if they want on your miss.
Roger, thank you. Cessna 392.
So he's going to be ended up handing you off is the problem, right? Or I shouldn't say problem, but...
November 70392. I got a couple things for you. First, I'll have your through clearance for you through Cumberland, and then I'll get you your approach clearance. So just advise you're ready to copy.
So he says by through clearances, he's going to give you the clearance from Cumberland to Anoka. So if you're ready to copy that, go ahead.
Okay.
Cessna 392 is ready to copy.
Or 70392. You're cleared through the Cumberland Airport to the Anoka Airport via direct on departure. Climb and maintain 5,000, and that'll be for frequency coverage.
All right, cleared through the Cumberland Airport to Anoka, direct, and then climb to 5,000 for Cessna 392.
70392, and then now next for you, maintain at or above 3,400 until burp, cleared straight in RNAV 27 approach, Cumberland Airport.
All right, maintain at or above 3,400 until burps, and then cleared for the RNAV 27 straight in, Cessna 392.
Excellent.
All right.
So the clearance through is what they scolded us for at Mankato, right? Is since we already know what we want to do after the approach, he's just giving you that clearance to do it.
Okay.
So what are you going to fly for a missed approach?
We're going to go direct to Anoka.
Very good.
And then climb to 5,000.
All right.
November 70392, and sorry, one last thing for you. On your departure from, or on your miss from Cumberland, you'll be contacting Minneapolis Center on 125.3. They probably won't be able to hear you until you level at 5, so just keep trying, and then once you get to 5,000, they should be able to hear you.
All right, we'll be contacting them on 125.3, and we'll keep trying until 5,000, Cessna 392.
Awesome. I love all the distractions. Like I said, you can't make this stuff up, man. So he did clear us for a straight in, correct?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So even if we weren't coming in on the one, let's say we were coming in from the northwest, would we still be allowed to do this straight in?
Yeah, since he did, yeah.
Yeah, right. It'd be a big giant U-turn to get on the course, but you sure would. In this case, we would be able to do it anyways. And what did he say? 3,400 feet until established, right?
Yep. Sure did.
According to this, then, when could we start down to 3,400 feet, if you wanted to?
Within 30 miles, so.
Of what?
Of burps.
Very good, yeah. I love these semicircle things. I think that's the coolest thing. There's no guesswork. I'm within 34 miles. I'm on the, what radial or bearing are we on right now? Two burps.
192.
Yeah, so where does that put us generally on these hemispheres?
Right about here.
Yeah, right, exactly. I love it. That is such a cool feature. Let's see, I also like to take a quick look at, there's some radar there. ADS radar. It was picking it up, there we go. It says it's marginal.
Okay.
The Sentry is marginal, so it's not getting it great. There's some of your issues with ADS, but yeah, you got some rain showers. Any convective activity though? Do you see any thunderstorms there? Do you see any yellow or red?
No.
No, so you're looking at light rain showers, I'm guessing. Good to have all this, the big picture, right? It's super easy to get just involved in the approach, but there's other stuff going on here that we have to think about.
Air 986, contact Green Bay approach 119.4.
This is freaking awesome.
This is awesome. How often is it that you get to fly in conditions like this for this long?
It can happen, but typically, you know, the low altitude stuff is the last 10-15 minutes of a flight, and of course the autopilot's on. So our job in the 7.3 is essentially run the autopilot. It's pretty rare you'd be hand flying in IMC like this, except maybe the last part of the approach, the final approach segment.
Sure.
And even then the autopilot does great. You just usually do it it's fun to do. Good question though. You also see why it's so nice to have an autopilot. Imagine flying around in Brian Cirrus right now. That's almost a no-brainer.
Right.
Yeah. But with that comes, I think, a degradation in skills. You're flying this airplane way better than I could fly it. And that's because of all your recent experience. You're good at it and your recent experience. You get very reliant on the automation. And your hand flying skills really go down. I couldn't fly this airplane like you're flying it now, no way.
Well, thank you.
Yep. Nor could just about any jet pilot at Delta Airlines would have a heck of a time flying this airplane this well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. We could at one time, but not anymore. Actually, I was never this good.
Air 954, no numbers at Iron Mountain, runway 1, approach lighting system unserviceable. Runway 31, runway and fire lights unserviceable. BME unserviceable and beacon not rotating. Cost Stampy at or above 3,400, cleared RNAV 19 approach. Air 954, also changed my frequency 121.25.
I just love that ADS. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Here it tells you the time on the ADS, 17:36. So that was 3 minutes ago, is when that snapshot was taken for weather.
Okay.
So it's something to keep in mind, right? It's anywhere from 3 to 10, 12 minutes old. Well, and when it's thunderstorm days, you know, a general rain shower is no big deal, but on a thunderstorm day, those thunderstorms move so fast that 10 minutes makes all the difference in the world.
So is this actually acting like an HSI then down there?
Based on what I have plugged in, which is burps.
Okay.
And that's up here, you see that? And it's based on GPS, right? So that's our GPS ground speed.
Awesome.
Not our airspeed, but the altimeter is, because look at here. It says, hey, I'm kind of correcting your GPS altitude using this barometric altitude.
Sure.
Yeah, very cool.
That is.
Yeah, but the ground speed is only ground speed, not airspeed. I want to point out too here, Sentry marginal. That means what we're getting here. Notice it's yellow right here on the Sentry.
Sure.
So that's some of that coverage issues they have, whether it's antennas or just there's not enough coverage for it.
Okay.
We could talk some more about the ADS stuff on the way back to Anoka too, because I think it's super cool and it's good for you to be knowledgeable about it. Yeah, that AHRS is actually working pretty darn good, isn't it?
I think so.
Amazing. I'll just hold it up there for a second, just so it's something to look at.
Sure, see if I see those,
right?
Just making small banks. That is pretty darn
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Is it perfect? No. Is it good? Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you had to, right? on your little iPad, if you had to, you could put it right up there and fly this airplane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like the smaller iPad in that version because at least your other instruments that are working aren't blocked.
Yes.
If I had mine sitting up there right now, it'd be blocking some of your view.
Definitely.
Yep. Are you tired of me putting this in front of your face while you're trying to fly IFR? One nice thing I'll do here is I just normalized your JPI for you. So by pushing and holding lean fine, I made all of them the same.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what the actual temperature is. Now watch what happens when you make a power change. They get radically different. So I want to get back to a normal view, push and hold lean fine.
Okay.
Remember on the JPI, if I don't push and hold any more than one button at a time, I can't mess anything up. Try not to ever push both buttons at the same time.
Sure.
I can look down a little bit. I can actually see the ground straight down, but nothing out ahead, yeah. That can be very enticing. You go, oh, I think I see the airport. Don't circle down.
4295, Minneapolis Center, radar contact 5 miles southeast of Sawyer Airport.
Super cool, man. I love the real world stuff.
Yes, indeed. Probably one of the cooler experiences I've ever had flying so far.
Good, I'm glad. And my point was going to be here, you start getting any kind of engine roughness, you find your RPM starts to drop off or the JPI starts to decrease in temperature without doing anything. Probably getting the first signs of carburetor ice, right? We're at 48 degrees right now with lots of moisture. I would be always thinking about carburetor ice.
Sure.
And honestly, it's not a bad idea if you think you're in a condition where you might be getting it. Turn it on. It's a little more fuel burn is really all it is.
Sure.
Unfiltered air, yeah. You going to really pick up much sand and dirt and dust in flight here? Really not. So just something to always think about because that carburetor icing can come on fast.
The RPMs look all right now.
Right. And it's insidious. What'll happen is the RPM will drop up. In a constant speed prop, you don't see it until it's really late.
Sure.
Because the RPMs are masked by the constant speed prop. You're kind of between layers here.
Yeah, I think I'll try it. Let's see, because I did... Maybe.
You don't know, right? I mean, it's possible. Personally, at this temperature with moisture, it doesn't cost you nothing to have it on.
November 70392, radar services terminated. Change to advisory frequency is approved.
Change to advisory frequency approved, Cessna 392.
Pioneer 954, report IFR cancellation. This frequency change.
I don't know if you noticed, but you get a little leak in here too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's leaking around. I know it's hard to believe.
I wonder if that duct tape wasn't over the vents, if it'd be coming in even more.
Might be worse, yeah.
Maybe not a bad thing. All right, I'm going to start down to 3,400.
Awesome.
$500 feet to go.
What's so cool is there never used to be approaches to any of these airports. They're essentially VFR only airports. Now you get LPV approaches down to, if we were straight in, 250 feet. That just...
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Pretty amazing.
All right, 3,400 feet.
Excellent. You manage distractions very well too. Keep that up. I don't intentionally distract you, nor does ATC, but they're all over, right? The ATC or distractions are everywhere, and I love how you handle them. Keep that up.
Thank you.
I catch people at the airlines when I'm doing check rides. That's probably one of my biggest debrief items is you let distractions really get in the way of flying the airplane. You picked a perfect IFR day to go flying, or marginal VFR.
Awesome.
It really is. Plus a good ride. Would you call these cumulus or stratus clouds?
Stratus.
Yep, me too. Nice smooth ride, isn't it?
Yes.
Any better. Steady rain, or in this case we're out of the rain, but when it's raining it's steady, it's not massive downpours.
Okay, and we do have LPV.
Nice. Did we lose the knob again?
Yeah, it fell off when we were taking off.
Alright.
We can go down to 2,500 feet. .500 feet to go. .200 feet to go. And our plan is to level off as soon as we break out.
Yeah, like you were going to circle.
Okay. There's 2,500.
See how tempting it'd be to look outside now and try to navigate by, because I see breaks in the clouds. Every once in a while I can see down in the corner here. Don't.
I just noticed myself doing the exact thing you said.
Just keep flying the airplane. Now, is it okay to take a peek at the windshield once in a while? Sure. If we see the runway, great. But for the most part, I want to be on these instruments until I've got a solid view of the airport, of the runway.
Yes. Okay. 10 degrees of flaps. Alright, gas is on both, mixture rich, carburetor heat's on, and our seat belts are on. Cumberland traffic. Cessna 392 is on a 6-mile final, runway 27, Cumberland.
Just kind of make that your habit pattern, yeah. Even if you don't need them, who cares?
Sure.
You're not paying the electrical bill.
I see that vertical guidance moving.
What circling mins are we going to? What would be the lowest?
I was like 1640.
1640, good. That's the lowest you could go if you're going to circle. Nice job. I distracted you right at the glide slope intercept.
I see the runway now.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
So field elevation you said was, airport elevation was 1240.
Yeah.
So 2240 would be 1,000 feet above the runway.
This is 1,000 feet here then.
It is, yeah. Notice you're kind of still a little bit in the scud, aren't you?
Yeah.
Notice also the VASIs. If you would not have clicked the lights 7 times, you would not have had the VASIs turned on. It'd be a little tougher to see that runway, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So as long as you maintain above 1640, you know, you could start your circle. Well, you have to be within 1.3 of the runway, right?
Yes.
So we want to wait till this is... But would you go any lower?
I don't think so.
Why would you? Kind of real world stuff here. Now it's real tempting to peel off and enter a downwind, but you kind of want to wait until you're within the circling minimums. In this case, you got good visibility. You'd probably be just fine if you circled early, but we're not going to circle.
We're just going to continue until the missed approach point and then go missed approach.
We are, and so let's decide, you decide I want to go missed approach now.
We can start climbing.
Right.
Start climbing, retract the flaps, carburetor heat can come in.
Plus I'll get you a little more time in IFR.
Yes. And then when we get to the missed approach point, we can go direct to Anoka.
Very good.
And 5,000 feet.
Excellent. So just go ahead and keep climbing.
So we get that missed approach point.
There you go. You want to keep tracking that a little bit. There you go. And then it's telling you you're arriving at the waypoint. Good.
Okay, so we can turn towards Anoka now.
You sure could.
But I do not have it in the plan.
Excellent.
So I'm going to go into my flight plan, menu, delete, add waypoint.
Nice. Not playing very nice with you, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, go direct to Anoka.
Good.
Once we get climbing, it's 125.3, I believe. I'll have to check that in a second here.
Okay, good. He said you weren't probably going to get a hold of him until 5,000 feet anyways, didn't he?
Right. 125.3. We still have 1,700 feet to go. I'll plug that in. That's already on there, actually. And I just messed it up. Okay, 1,500 feet to go. Should I make another call on the
Sure.
CTAF? All right. Cumberland traffic, Cessna 3902 is departing the area to the southwest. Cumberland. All right. Thousand feet to go.
1 to go.
And I can try to give center a call, I guess. All right, saying we went missed approach at Cumberland and we're going direct to Anoka.
Yeah, right on.
Minneapolis Center, Cessna 703902, just went missed approach at Cumberland, proceeding direct Anoka, 4,300, climbing 5,000.
Number 70392, Minneapolis Center, right take altimeter 2971.
2971, Cessna 3902.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Somebody must have turned up the amperage on the antenna down there.
4,500.
We're flying in an area of better weather, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Getting lighter and lighter, less clouds.
Charlie Whiskey, maintain above 3,000, so runway clear on F4 over airport.
What do you think about that altitude 5,000 for westbound?
At or above 3,000 rim
It's interesting, to say the least, I guess. It's not the correct one, but, I mean, that's what they gave us, so.
There you go. Doesn't matter. You wouldn't file it, 5,000? Or you would, and they'd either accept it or deny it, but that's correct. It's not correct for the direction of flight, but ATC, that's what they want yet. He didn't want you at 6, and 4 was too low for getting your
Number 1519, Minneapolis Center, climb maintain, flow 230.
There's 5,000.
I'm going to play with the GPS for a second here, if you don't mind. Keep flying whatever your heading is. I'm not going to change your routing at all.
Okay.
So that your needle will still be accurate. I just have a question in my mind here. Again, I didn't change your route, so that's all. Still should be the same.
Okay.
So my thought was, we knew what our missed approach instructions were here at Cumberland, right? So my thought was, because now you're having to program all that 1,500 feet off the ground. And you did great. My question was, could we have programmed direct Anoka in the missed approach?
Okay.
The answer is yes, you could have. Let's go to the flight plan here. Remove the approach.
122, Minneapolis Center, climb maintain, 11,000.
We're going direct Anoka still. Move that. All right. So what I did is I told it, give me the approach. I selected the ILS 27 at Anoka, and then I went down and scrolled down to the missed approach point and I erased Gopher.
Okay.
And then I put in Crystal.
122 radar contact, 2 miles east.
So that would have been, if our instructions were on the missed approach, climb to 5,000, clear direct Crystal. can actually program that in the FMS.
Okay.
Or the FMS. You can program that into the GPS. And I think after the waypoint, missed approach waypoint, it still goes into suspend.
Okay.
So it'll still do the same thing. So we could have done that back here. Our missed approach instructions were what?
To go direct to Anoka, climb 5,000, and then contact 125.3.
Perfect. So what we could have done on the Cumberland approach is erased, whatever that missed approach point was. We could have erased Dusty. And the hold that automatically gets erased when you do that.
Okay.
And then just
Delta 1519,
we could have put in Anoka.
Okay.
And it would have blown the missed approach. You can reprogram the missed approach. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't reprogram a turn or anything like that. You got to still fly that part, but it'll go okay at the missed approach point.
Descend and maintain 4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000, Cessna 392.
There you go. That makes more sense for our direction of flight. Does that make sense what I'm getting at there?
Yes,
okay,
definitely.
Good. Yeah.
I'll just have
rather
to play
than
with it
reprogramming, and it's really weird. It's weird that, but you occasionally you'll get a alternate missed approach from ATC that sounds just like that. And so go ahead and program it in the approach if you have time. Program it in before you start the approach. And now when you go miss, now I just got to fly whatever the GPS tells me.
Sure.
Good.
Yeah, I'll play with that on the simulator when I get home.
Right on. And then, you know, like you said, we already had...
70392, any bases or tops information out of Cumberland?
Ooh, tell them to stand by.
Stand by for Cessna 302.
Bases, I would say, when did we break out and see the...
Sky was 5122, how's your rev in the climb? It's pretty smooth so far, Sky.
Ooh.
Nice.
We were at about
2,500, and then so the base is 2,400?
2,400 on the basis?
Yeah.
And that would be MSL?
So far,
And you could tell them MSL, or you could tell them 2,400 minus 1,200, so about 1,200 on the basis, 1,200 AGL.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to get a pirate, you'll be famous. And then did you have any tops reports at all? Did we ever really see the tops?
No.
I don't think so either. We kind of just flew out of the layer, but you certainly had a base report.
All right.
Minneapolis Center, Cessna 392. The bases at Cumberland were about 1,400 AGL, and then no tops report.
Thank you.
Awesome, now you're famous. This is kind of airline 201 level, but if you want to report a pilot report to ATC, you actually have to say the words PIREP, Cessna 392, bases at Cumberland, for 1,200 feet. Now he asked you for them, so you don't have to say that. If you don't say PIREP, he's not required to actually enter it in the computer. If you say PIREP, we use it for wind shear. If you just say, oh, it's S392, we're going around, loss of 10 knots of airspeed on the approach. He's like, okay, thanks. If you say S392, PIREP, loss of 10 knots on approach, he's got to put that into the PIREP system.
Sure.
36 Mike, your radar contact, mile south, let's go.
What is the weather looking like at Anoka right now?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see if we can pull it up.
And there's 4,000.
Very good. Realistic distractions all over.
Mile visibility and clear.
Yeah.
We're going to use runway 9. So do you think we should just do the visual at Anoka?
How much time do we have to get to Anoka? It says we're going to be there at 1:30 is what you're showing right now, so I think we're going to need a visual.
Yeah.
We want to get the airplane to those guys by 2.
Yeah, it's all right. And the camera did capture it too. It's blinking. Oh, I think it just died actually.
Oh, did it right when we were looking at it? Play with your... I'm going to take your airplane for a second.
Okay, you've got the airplane.
I've got the aircraft. Just play a little bit with the ADS information. Find your way around. See what kind of limitations you have for ADS, and weather, radar, that kind of stuff. Plus, I get to fly.
Tango Oscar, all right, we'll add Mike, India, Lima.
This airplane sure likes to turn left.
It sure does.
In level flight.
Let's see. Yeah, the radar is not super clear, but and it kind of looks like it's picking up rain showers almost everywhere, but
Yeah. Do you see any kind of convective activity, thunderstorms?
no.
Okay, good.
Up north, maybe by Duluth. There
Oh,
could
very good.
have been some.
Yeah, the main reason I want you to look at on the ADS here is you notice that it's a lot less resolution than you're used to.
Yeah.
When you're looking at my radar.
302, contact Minneapolis Road, 126.5.
126.5, Cessna 392.
Starting to look a little bit more broken here.
It sure is. Man, I cannot hold my heading. Look at that. Terrible.
Contact point, 119.15.
Where are we going?
I know. I got to pick a heading here instead of just staring around. It is a challenge when you go over to do your CFI, double I, and you're sitting over here. And you don't get to look at the instrument straight on. Well, if you want to manage the radios for a second.
Okay.
Again, a technique I like to do is I'll pick up ATIS before I call approach.
Okay.
And I'll see if I can keep us on course.
All right.
Skies are clear below 12,000. Temperature 162.7. Altimeter 295-9er. Visual approach runway 9er in use. Caution for migratory waterfowl in the vicinity of the Anoke Airport. Advise on initial contact. You have information Zulu. Anoke Airport information Zulu. 1749er Zulu observation. Wind 07011. Gust 14. Visibility 10. Skies are clear below 12,000. Temperature 162.7. Altimeter 295-9er. Visual approach runway 9er in use. Caution for migratory waterfowl in the vicinity.
Alright, VFR 4,500, we'll expect...
See how much nicer that is than trying to get ATIS while you're listening to him yammer on?
So much nicer.
It's a fun technique.